Book haul and microphone test. I got to remember not to cough near it because I just did a test and man, it blew my ears out. So hopefully I won't do that to you guys. I'll do a little book haul tonight. This will be short because I haven't really figured out the setup, right? Like I've turned on the lights in here, then there's just too much glare everywhere, and the sun's going down now, which means it's getting dark. But we'll figure out something eventually. By the time I get it figured out, it'll be November 8th, and I'll be leaving here. So there's a lot of bookstores around where I'm living. Actually, there's a lot more. There's a whole neighborhood of bookstores I want to go to, but I did pick up a couple books I couldn't resist. Even though these are Spanish editions, I'll show them anyway because they're both books I've read before. I want to use them to study Spanish, to try something they call sentence mining, where you read a bit of a book, a few paragraphs or whatever, and you get a real good handle on it, and then you really work those sentences to improve your language. See if it happens. But anyway, these are two great books I want to talk about anyway. You've seen these kind of editions before, maybe not translated, but this is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This is Penguin Random House. You've probably seen these before. They had these cheap, inexpensive reissues of classics. They had a big stack of them there for like €6. This is a terrific book, very easy to read and very short. So I think I'll have a fun time reading that again. If you haven't read that book, actually, it occurs to me that it's of course it. I guess I could just mute the mic when I want to cough. Would be the more sensible way to do it. But anyway, it fits for Victober too. I probably won't end up starting it before the end of the month, but it is a Victorian novel. It's funny how I always think of Victorian novels as the big doorstops, Dickens and the Brontes and George Eliot and those type folks, and Wilkie Collins, who else? Elizabeth Gaskell. Those are what I think of Victorian novels. But of course, it's any novel written by a British or a person from the British Isles or Ireland in the time period and during the reign of Victoria, which makes this a perfect choice. So if you want to read a short Victorian, it's quite a good book. You probably know the story. It's almost becomes like Jekyll and Hyde. It's almost outgrown its source material, and it seems like it might have been based on an old legend where the young aristocrat doesn't want to grow old. He has a portrait painted of himself that kind of takes on all his sins and all his aging and all his decadence, and he managed to stay young and attractive for many years. It's a great book, and not very long. The other one, definitely not Victorian, but British. This is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. This looks very much, they had a ton of these Agatha Christie's there. You can tell she's very popular here as every place else. And this is one of my favorites. This is one of the most complexly plotted mysteries ever written. In fact, Agatha Christie had to did something she didn't usually do. She puts there's a little note from the author in here. This is one in Spanish, but whatever. Explaining that she worked really hard on this damn book. She better enjoy it, and she really did. This is a fantastic novel. There's several different versions. There's a whole history of the naming of the book, the title of the book, which I won't go into here, but it is kind of a shocking history if you want to read that. The title we have that comes down to us was the original title of the American book edition, I think. There was also a play. There's a classic movie from I believe the 40s. This was written in 39, I think. 46. Oh no, sorry. This translation is from 46. She wrote it in 1939. It was a huge hit. She adapted it as a play. The play is quite different. She felt like Agatha Christie felt like she had to change some things for the play, and that they're reflected in the 1940s Barry Fitzgerald and Company film edition. I was going to say Hollywood edition, but I think it's a British movie. It's a really good movie, but it has a different ending than the book, and this is kind of rare for Christie. There's a newer edition. There's a BBC or something edition from about 10 years ago, which is adapted from the book, but most of the movies before that were all adapted from the stage play, and it is a different ending. And the book is much darker and cooler, but probably not as fun to walk out of a play, and it would probably be difficult to stage on a play. But as a book, it works great. I'm looking forward to reading that again. I'm sure at some point I'll break down and just read the whole book in English while I'm trying to work through this, as homework. And who knows? I really didn't need both these books. I didn't need either of them. I've got plenty of other materials to work on language with, but it was fun to buy something, and one of these bookstores had an English language section, and it had nothing in it that I wanted to read at all. It was all contemporary stuff except for 3 Hemingway novels, which I'd already read, but I considered it. If I could have found The Sun Also Rises in English and Spanish at the same place, probably would have bought it. But that's it for a while on book buys. I've got plenty to read on my Kindle, of course, so I just wanted to share that with you, and just an excuse to try my microphone and see how it works. Talk to you later.